Gracias, Orlando, por tus palabras muy inspiradoras. En este momento quiero presentar al señor Tad McCotter, pero lo voy a hacer en inglés. Tad McCotter was born in Detroit, Michigan, and earned his Bachelor's of Arts from the University of Detroit in 1987. He earned his Juris Doctorate degree from the University of Detroit Law School in 1990. Later on in 1998, he was elected to the Michigan State Senate and went on to be elected to the United States House of Representatives in 2002, where he served honorably until 2012. He has always been a voice of conscience, defending freedom of thought throughout the world, and especially he's a friend of the Cuban people's right to be free. Congressman McCotter lives with his wife Rita and their 3 children, George, Timothy, and Amelia, in his hometown of Livonia. Congressman McCotter.
Usually in an academic setting, I'm accustomed to sitting in the back, not the front. And it's kind of ironic because it was at the start of high school that I made a very momentous choice. My counselor came up to me and they said, "We have a language requirement here at Catholic Central High School. Would you like French, Spanish, or Latin?" I chose Latin. Fortunately, my decision-making got better later on. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to have read Intra-History before it was even published. My friend Lincoln sent it to me. I was never fortunate enough to be in the presence of Rafael Diaz-Balart. But I do know the man because I've met his sons. And it is through them that so many of the lessons that we will see in this book are practiced and proselytized every day. And really, what greater testament to a father could there be than to have sons who are loving husbands, devoted fathers, and patriots who have never abandoned the cause of freeing their soil from tyranny, so that one day their grandchildren could return to a better republic than was stolen in 1959. One of the things about the mind of Rafael Diaz-Balart that comes through in such a crystalline fashion is how he understood that the lie will not stand the test of time, and that it is the truth that both endures and emancipates. And one of the fundamental truths, indeed, that he put forward in his blueprint for a free Cuba is very elementary and so often missed. And it is the reason that we are here together in common cause. We are not anti-Castro. We are pro-Cuba. We are not here as an act of destruction, but as an act of creation. We are not here to prey upon division, but to seek reconciliation. We are not here as an act of hatred, but as an act of love. For as he told you in your privileged meetings with him, and it applies equally to the individual as to the regime, we know the character of the Castro regime. We understand that it is built upon a lie. It is built upon destruction. It is built upon division. In the end, it is built upon envy and hatred. And that is why in his book he makes it very clear that there are no conquerors, there are no collaborationists, there are Cubans. And that when the day comes, and it will come, and it will come soon, people must be willing to come together in an act of creation, in a project of love within the rule of law. And indeed, in an increasingly trying period of time, in an increasingly divided world, in an increasingly dangerous world. A free Cuba, built upon love, built upon reconciliation and freedom, will be a beacon not only within this hemisphere, but a beacon to what can and must be done throughout the rest of the tortured world in which we find ourselves. And that is why we are here today, not to commence, but to continue our devotion to a free Cuba, to the truth, and to the love which unites all of us flawed, frail human beings within God's world. May we do the work with our hands, as Rafael Diaz-Balart did with his. And someday, we'll meet again on the soil of a free Cuba. Thank you for having me.